Welcome to What's the Hype podcast. I'm on your host, Bileko Wissa, here with
Keenan Baker
and
Huca Bera.
And today, ladies and gentlemen, we got a special group of guests. They're called On the Post Production. I'm very impressed with these ladies. Very impressed. Impressed with your work. You're very impressed, right?
I mean, this intro still seems lackluster.
Okay, all right. I'm working.
All he said was, I'm impressed.
I'm impressed.
Why are you impressed by these
I'm just
lovely
impressed.
ladies?
Please showing.
Well, off camera, I was very impressed. I thought they were going to be dry, but they're not. They got a little flavor.
Shots fired, okay.
I know. What?
Damn.
So go ahead, ladies, introduce yourselves.
On that note, yeah.
Jinx.
I'm Farida. I feel a little salty about that intro.
Oh, no. And we're here with the great
Farida.
and
The great Amber.
great Amber and in the
Diva.
booth.
In the booth.
In the booth, dropping bars. It's Diva.
And what we're going to talk about today, since you guys have your own production company, we want to talk about racism and sexism in films. So some of the stuff questions we want to discuss are, how does the film industry deal with it? What's the biggest problem in the film industry, in your guys' opinion? Does the film industry do a good job with diversity? Is it the film industry's job or the actor's job to create diverse roles? How does the film industry deal with sexism? What black shows and movies are actually helping our culture, and what shows are not contributing to the culture?
Ooh.
There's a lot of that.
Y'all willing to drop names?
Right. Oh, you know,
go
we.
first.
Yeah. So at least let's start with the first one. How does the film industry deal with racism?
I mean, are you talking about like how they portray it from what's going on currently, or are you talking about how internally how they deal with racism and things that are going on internally?
That's a good question. You know, I never thought about that.
Ooh, she answered the
Flip the
question
script
right
deeper than you.
Yeah, she went much deeper than us.
How do you think they've been kind of dealing with it? And I guess we want to start just right now, because I feel like right now
This
we're
moment.
being trendy again as black people to
Right.
them. How do you think they're dealing with that in the sense of, I guess, like putting our shows out? And because I feel like I feel like a lot of times they wanted us to be quote unquote stereotype.
Right.
Now that they kind of, it's kind of like we're being more. You're seeing the black intellect, you're seeing the stereotype, but you're seeing different things now. Do you think that's them growing, or you think that's just like, yo, we're trying to get this money?
I think it's probably a little bit of both. I think that they are growing, and I think you also have more people that are behind the scenes that are controlling what's being made. So, you know, still now, but it always were maybe white men or white people talking about the black experience. How much of that do you actually know when now you have people that are showrunners that are black, you have writers that are black, directors, executives that are black, that now they're coming from it from a more authentic and more like well-rounded approach. So I think that that's probably part of it too. And like you said, I mean, you know, whatever makes money is where they're going with that. So black people have shown that we'll pay if we want to see something. We want diverse characters. We want things that are deeper than I think they thought we wanted. So now that they see, like, Black Panther was a huge surprise to people. It wasn't a huge surprise to us.
No.
Yeah.
You know, but it was a huge surprise. Girls Trip was a huge surprise. Every year there's always a film that they're like, wait a second, why is this making money? It's like, well, yeah, it's making money.
Yeah.
You know?
As long as I think, because do you think? Because I got a lot of friends that are actors and stuff, and a lot of times when they do book shows, the writers are still 95% white,
For sure.
and then you can tell when I watch these shows. I won't name the shows. When I watch these shows, it's like this is a white writer. That's not
Yeah,
our lingo.
right. Yeah,
That's not how we would handle the situation.
Yeah.
That's an old slang.
Yeah, it's like
Right.
yeah.
They still use that, right?
They
Right.
honestly,
things are still the bomb.
to me, they think
The
think we're all
bomb.
Randy Jackson from American Idol. Like they
Yeah.
think we're all like, "What's up, dog?" Like they think we all still talk like that. I'm like, bro, like that's.
man, that was so so inauthentic. Like, oh, Randy Jackson, dog, and he used to do his hands like this too.
Yeah, it was just like and no, not to be shady towards it, but it was just like I felt like they took that and they kind of ran with how that's how our dialogue is,
Right.
when it came to like writing stuff for us. Do you guys still feel like? Because I feel like a lot of these shows, there's still a bunch of white writers in the rooms. Do you
Right.
think they need to get
Well, yeah, because
pushed
like
out or anything?
I just feel like I can't write a story with the narrative of a trans person trying to do whatever they wanted to do because I'm not trans. So I would then go, this is an idea I have. Let me get a writer who has this experience
Right.
so it's authentic. So I don't understand why they can't get it together where it's like, I'm not like a white man is not a black woman. He's not going to know my struggle. He's not going to know what I go through on the daily basis. So why does he feel entitled to tell my story?
Well, there's
And
an
watch-
infrastructure.
But
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, but that structure is broken. And that's why you have shows like Insecure and like the way Issa runs her program. And I love the fact that I believe a while ago she had a deal with ABC or something like that. And they wanted to get writers together, but no one looked like her or people that she works with. She's like, you guys saw my YouTube show. You saw Awkward Black Girl. But yet somehow now that I'm going to be on network, you want me to change everything that got me to this point. So I just feel like let the people living these experiences tell their story, because we need more of that, because we're not monolithic. Like that's why I also love Sorry to
that's a
Bother
good-
You, because I think what Boots did with having a story about a genre that we as people of color never see ourselves. Like I never see myself in that role. I'll watch stuff like what's the one, Garden State.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's such a great story. I'm like, I could be in that, but they would never put me in that. So that's why
Yeah.
we have to have more people like us writing things for us.
Yeah, Jordan Peele especially.
Yeah.
He's huge. Like in
Absolutely.
the horror genre, we're dead in the first
First
5 to
one
10.
gone.
Yeah. And there's zero truth to that. We would be the last ones. We would be
Telling you,
the,
we're
we
not
would-
going in the room.
Yeah.
We're not going in that room, man.
Or we gonna fight a certain way. We have
Yeah.
a different type of edge towards us.
Exactly.
But I feel like they also too they cater towards what they think middle America and white America thinks, and the stereotypes
Yeah.
of how they think of us. So
yeah, that's
to-
comfortable for them.
to them it's like, yeah, because like even when it like there's like I went to go see the Medina funeral movie, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So and
They still make those?
and it's not really a huge knock at Tyler Perry, but when I was in there, I did see a lot of white people in there. But I felt like there was things that were stereotypical, and that probably makes them feel at ease
Yeah.
because that's how they see us, or they're told how we are, and so just like they can watch and be like, that's
Accurate.
Oh, thank God.
yeah. And now that you're seeing more images of us and of us being different, because we're very universal.
We're
It's
humans,
like,
very
yeah,
diverse, man.
and they're able to see us in something like a Jordan Peele horror movie and be like, okay, this is just a family.
Yeah.
They're
right.
black. They happen to be black, but it's
Yeah.
just a family. Like we can
Trying to
be. We're,
survive.
yeah, we're an American family also.
Yeah.
So stop trying to paint us like, no, that's just a black family, and it's
Yeah.
like we are America also.
Yeah.
You know.
But I also think there's this, I don't want to say like this fear, but if we start creating I think one thing we have to change is we have to be in control. Like we have to stop allowing them to be like, oh, let them tell our story. Why would I want a stranger that can't empathize
Exactly.
with me tell my story?
It doesn't
You know
make
what I mean?
sense.
So you have to first change that mentality. Therefore, you guys have your production company, right? Now you guys have the power to tell the story you want to tell as a black woman, as an African woman, or biracial woman, whatever stuff you're going through. You can tell the story from your point of view rather than somebody that's never even can't even pick up your laces. Tell your story, and then we get mad when they're like, "Well, that's incorrect." Well, yeah, because he's not us.
Yeah.
Or she's
Yeah.
not us.
But I think when you're running to them for the money,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to put their input on it.
No, that's true. But
So
then,
like you said, with their own production company, it's like if you got to film it with a smaller budget,
Right.
if you got to do it you have to do it your way if you want your
Right.
story told. But you have to do this. If you ain't got the money, you ain't got the money. But film it away, have
Right.
people do things. Just like they hook you up and y'all switch, y'all
right,
barter.
right,
You know
like
what I mean?
linear. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we first started, one of the reasons why we started was because we were getting auditions for the same type of roles, or we were getting things that were one-dimensional, or even our stories and the way that we write and our view on the world is different than maybe a lot of other people, a lot of other African Americans.
Yeah.
And we started writing our own stories because we're like, no one's talking like we talk.
No,
No,
right,
no one's
right.
humor is similar, at least as black women. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
we put our own spin on what we do because
Yeah.
we did it so differently than what we've seen, And so now we start to see more people that are coming out that are like Issa Rae's, and you get people that are two dope queens that have a different voice,
Right.
but still their voice I don't think is what we do.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Do you-
So
Just real quick for like y'all when y'all was auditioning, did they ever tell you to like?
Yes.
yeah, whatever it is. Yes.
I went out for something, and the casting director, he had this look on his face because it was me and a bunch of other black actresses, and he came out and he put his head down and he wouldn't make eye contact, and we already knew. We're like, he's gonna use either fierce or sassy or
sassy.
like, can you be more
Urban.
very like Hollywood shuffle?
Oh, I love
Be
urban.
more black.
Yeah.
And so he came out. He's like, hey guys, so we got the breakdown and just quick like. I'm like, yeah. Could you guys just give it more of like a sassy edge?
Yeah.
And we're like, cool. And then he leaves, and there was this actress. She came in a little bit late, and she's like, what, I missed on nothing, just be sassy. She's like, oh, another sassy one. So it gets like a running joke. And I see like the same couple of actresses in each audition that I go to, and we're just like, you here for sassy?
Let me ask you a question. If he would have said, could you Beyonce it up, how would you felt?
Well, I would want anyone to tell me to Beyonce it up in life. But I mean, for what we were going out for, and I'm all like, you saw my tape, you know what I can do. You brought me in based off that. Just let me go and do my thing. And if they're not interested in it, then that's fine. But I was like, we overplay the word sassy because I've never heard someone call Meryl Streep sassy or stuff like that. But I've heard them say it about Viola. And I'm like, what's the difference? Yes.
Yeah.
I actually got an audition that was what the note was be like Beyonce. That was the note when I went in there, and I was like,
There's only one B.
there's only one
There's
B, and
only
I
this
love
note?
Beyonce, Beyonce, but it was in the breakdown, and I was like, what does that
ridiculous.
mean? So I, did my version of that, but I also I'm like, and I love Beyonce, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, is that what every like white person's view of what a
Black woman is.
that's like got her shit going? You know what I mean? Which she does, but I'm like, what does that
Be
even mean?
Beyonce.
Be Beyonce. I was
It's
like,
funny
okay.
because even the issues that we have in like the film industry where it's like they have these stereotypes, the root of it is still like the cultural like stereotypes they have of us, like, oh, if I hit Keenan, we all feel pain. Like, it's like we're not even like humans still even out to this day. So for them to even have the audacity to be like Beyonce, there's only one.
Yeah.
You know how much talent? Not saying you don't have talent, but I'm just saying that's like disqualifying her talent to
Exactly.
see like anybody can do that.
Right.
Yeah. There's been cases where people audition for certain things that producers and stuff like that I've heard from friends and that I've seen personally, where they was like, that's not how you guys normally act, because you're telling me to be
Wow.
you can't tell me to be black, like you don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they were trying to tell me, hey, that's not how I would normally do it. Do it how they wanted to tell me to blacken it up more in the sense of like. And for you as a white person to try to tell me, like, you've never been in a black body and you never will be.
But that's that thing where they think blackness is tangible. You can't grab my blackness.
Right.
And then also it's like, real quick, sir, define to me what you think blackness is. Because if you're saying I'm like, I am black. This is me. So what else do I have to put on it?
Right.
Now you're getting into I need you to be more such and such, but you don't have the balls to say, this is what I need. So you keep saying black to me. And I'm like, I'm going to do it the same way because I am black. So until you give me an adjective that you really need me to do, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
I didn't book it.
And also,
I was actually gonna go like deep and be like, yo, have you ever done that before? Have you ever been like, when you've been told to blacken it up or be more urban or sassy, was you like, I'm gonna keep doing the same thing and just be like, fuck it?
I mean, I was just like, I tried to see where people are coming from. So I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I just kind of give him like, and he's like, and they just kept repeating it over and over. And I'm like, I know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, just like, and they would never say it. So I just kept doing it to the point they're like, okay, thank you so much for coming. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me say this. I'm just waiting for the Spike Lee documentary because I'm taking every part on that.
Very good, Huck.
all right.
If I get that call, Spike Lee again and Home Depot, I'm getting a plastic surgery.
It's amazing us being like black talents. Like, you still have this battle about like I still have to prove myself as a person before I even get to the talent portion, right?
Yeah.
Like we do stand up, and I talk about like myself, right? I have two, I'm very fortunate. I have 2 master's degrees, biomedical science, public health, and I talk about that on stage. You should see the people that come up to me after the show when they're like, wow. I'm like, what?
And to me,
Why
I
are
don't.
you so surprised?
I don't think that's a compliment. Like,
No,
when
no,
I-
right.
Yeah, when they
It's
come up to you,
not.
like, you're not like the other ones.
Yeah.
You
Right.
seem a little different.
Right.
You enunciate. I'm just like, yo, you need to chill the fuck out. 'Cause
Right.
I can unenunciate in this bitch.
Right.
Real quick.
quick,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, even I think for me growing up too, there was a bit of insecurity with the way I speak, or growing up, what I thought for a while like wasn't okay, because when I would look at black films or black people on film, it was all a certain way, and I was like, well, maybe there's something wrong with me. And in high school, people were like, why do you talk like that? Or why are you like this? And it was, and finally being able to embrace that and be like, my blackness, I don't have to prove my blackness any more than anybody else does.
Yeah.
And now we're being able to see like different versions of what quote unquote being black is, which really is something you can't define. So it's so important, I think, now that we have so many different types of
Outlets and stuff like
outlets
that.
and people that just happen to be black and are doing great things for the black community and making it so much more well-rounded to people that don't see black people every day, which is to me is shocking. But it's like someone in middle America who's maybe sees a black person once every few weeks. They don't really have black friends.
Right.
Look at all these different people that you see that are black, that are doing great things, and that are all proud of being black. And it's not one thing.
Yeah, I would say this. We got social media now. Ain't no goddamn excuse.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, I don't care.
let 'em
Yeah,
know.
you know, like I got that one black friend. Social media now, you should have a minimum of 3 to 5. Ain't no
Just follow someone.
Just follow somebody. Let me see what they talking about.
Right.
Ain't
What
no
is it?
excuse. I mean,
This is what they do.
Diva's in the booth.
I'm still in the booth.
Yeah. A peep out of you.
All right.
Give us something.
Right, Diva.
Shit.
I'm just listening. This is so fascinating. I mean, it's just, you guys are just saying all the things, and just going back to the sassy comment, the new one that I've been hearing lately is, can you be more, Tiffany Haddish? So they'll pick someone.
Oh,
and you're
yeah,
like,
the new one.
That's
Yeah.
the new one that they like to use. And you're like, okay. And just going back to what my sister was saying, you just have to stick true to yourself, stay true to yourself. And I know what they're trying to do. And sometimes they get uncomfortable too, giving you those notes. You can see it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it the way I'm doing it. And if this isn't black enough for you, then it's not. Next.
Let me ask you guys this question, because we talked to you guys we pretty much discussed how they deal with it. What's the biggest problem? Like the lack of diversity and still that systematic racism, right? It was like, oh, be like this. Do you think in most recent times, I'd say the past 10, 15 years, you think they're doing a better job with diversity in films?
I think it's better because there are more people of color, more women behind the scenes. Like we mentioned, showrunners, like ourselves, we're creating our own content. So our narrative is out there. Of course, it can always get better, but I think we're making the right strides in the right direction. And a Jordan Peele, he's breaking every mold and every record, they're just setting the tone of what's to come.
I got stats. According to the Hollywood Reporter, USC did a survey on women and minorities in film. I still don't know what a minority is because I'm black. Right? Never seen somebody born be called, hey, this is a minority. Yeah. You're either this or you're that, but that's a whole nother thing, right? So they did a study in 2016, right? So it was 3 years ago. In 4,500 speaking characters, 31% were female. Hasn't changed since 2007. In 34 films, it depicted female leads. Only 3 were non-white roles. Speaking characters, 71% were white, 13% were black, 5% Asian, 3% Hispanic, and less than 1% was Native American, right? Right? 25 of the top 100 films in 2016 did not feature a single black character in a speaking role. 54 films had no Hispanic characters, right? 44 films had no Asian characters. So it's there's this perception that there's diversity, but there hasn't been any change in 10 years.
Right.
That's
Okay.
Well, I think, first of all, that sounds about accurate.
Right.
And I think that's why
It's a stat.
I think that's why you have to keep pushing. I'm not naive enough to think that we don't have a lot of work to do. We have so much work to do. But what gives me hope is that now we're very vocal about it. When Regina King said the 50-50, she's going to make sure every product, and that's a bold thing to say because she said it. It's on camera. If it doesn't happen, we go back, Regina, remember when you said that one time?
Yeah, right,
she
right.
can't renege. It's
Hire
out
me.
there.
Yeah.
But it's what I love is that we're vocalizing it more. And I don't think that was really happening to this level. And maybe because Black Panther was so huge, they kind of think, we gave you guys your one for the year.
Yeah.
Let's be, but no. I want all of it. So
Yeah.
it's like, I'm going to hit you in television, in film, in music, in politics, in tech. I'm going to hit you all over the place. And that's why I think we should highlight not just film, because I think people think the entertainment industry is going to be the answer to everything. And as someone a part of it, I look outside of that because A, that's how I get inspiration for storytelling. And B, it's like you get the pulse on what's really happening. Like there's
And
not
television,
that many
a
women of
lot
color
more
doing
than
in
film.
tech. So when you see that, you're like, okay, we still have a long way to go. I just am hopeful. We're not where we need to be, but I know we're going to get there because we have no choice. Like this is happening. So you either can help with it happening or get out of my way.
Me personally, I just don't want it to be another 1990s hotness and then fad and then we're gone again.
Yeah.
Because we were literally on a lot of channels. We were killing it in the movie game. We were killing it in TV.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I felt like it was one of those like, you know what? They're getting a little too much power and hot. They're trying to start like, because like nowadays it's a lot easier to start your own production company. It's a lot easier to shoot everything now because cameras are way cheaper.
Yeah.
YouTube, people a lot of times like this younger generation is watching more stuff online than they are on TV. So we have a chance to now at least take over in a sense of like we don't even need you to take over. Like, all right, you don't want to put us in film, no problem. We're gonna do like the awkward black girls and we're just gonna build this shit ourselves. And if you want to get on board, you can be a partner, but you're not about to own what we do.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what's weird, Ken, just to piggyback what you said? Remember in the 90s, you had all different kinds of like black entertainment. So you had like gangster rap, you had like neo soul, you had R&B, you had Living Single, you had New York Undercover, all those shows. And then 2000, George Bush gets into office. Look, Britney Spears, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Eminem, they all come in and the culture severely changes. It just, I don't know, I decided
But the thing is, I don't think we stopped working. I think it's just one of those things where, like you said, like, okay, my blackness is palatable to you now. And then something else comes out and it's like, oh, now new sparkly shiny thing, I'm going to go here. And then that dies down. Now I'm looking for something more authentic and more this. I feel like keep your head down, just do the work because there's so much support and there's so much love that's going on within our community that I'm not worried about what they want me to do and what they expect me to do. I'm focusing on what Farida's doing and keep it pushing. Like, I cannot worry about that.
And also to touch on what you mentioned earlier.
Diva.
Hello, it's me again.
In the booth.
To touch on, it's now there's more control. Like you said, we have our own production company. We have things that are our own. We can do a streaming service. We don't need the big networks anymore. But I think before, in the 90s, there was you had to rely on that more so than now. Now you have control of your own narrative and your own projects and the people you want to work with. And those are the people I surround myself with. And where we are in our careers, if we look around, I know so many female filmmakers, writers, Black, Asian. Like there's just so much that it's coming, it's happening. Maybe it's not portrayed all the time, especially in film. I will say television though. I think that's where like the gold is, especially for a person of color right now. For the things I see coming up, because I can speak on projects. Yeah, there's more projects that I get offered and like go out for that I'm like, oh, this is going to be so cool when it comes out and people see it. So I think it's all coming, it's all happening, and I wish it was like tomorrow. But like she said, keep your head down, do the work, and its longevity is what's going to get you in this game.
Yeah, and I think too, even when you're working in Hollywood as a Black person, just realize too, they look at us like a trend.
Yeah.
So don't not saying don't get upset, but understand. Like I remember when I first went bald, I went into an agency and I was trying to get signed or whatever, and the dude was like, "I'm gonna be honest with you, you're just not in. Like you the way you look is not in. We're looking for like kind of like the unkept."
Homeless
black,
look,
like the kind of like the nappy hair. It's it's not. It looks good, but it's not. You didn't really get it trimmed or nothing
what
like
the
that.
fuck is that about?
And I was just like, damn. But it was just like, and the dude, he's like, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's literally, he's like, especially when it comes, and he was a Black dude, told me this. He was a Black guy. He was like, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's literally how Hollywood looks at you for me to get you even booked or anything. They don't give a fuck about Black people. They care about trends.
Yeah.
So your look, he's like, your look is not gonna get me any money off you because you're not gonna get booked.
Yeah.
So like
money.
right now, I think Black people, we have to realize, one, we control trends. So
Yeah,
as long as,
for
like you
sure.
guys said, as long as we keep putting out different content and we look this way, that way, this way, that way, because even with like a lot of Black women I see going now, they ask for like natural hair Black women.
I had to change my hair. Yeah, I had to go natural to get signed with my agency.
Uh-huh.
But then I wanted to change my hair because the Black woman, I change my hair all the time.
Right.
So I was like, look, I need to change it. But they supported it. They respected it. So I'm fortunate. I know I'm not, the average story, but that's what's hot. When I go in a room, all the girls are natural. That's just the trend, you know?
I had to change my hair too.
Yeah, it looks great.
I'm bald.
Yeah.
Bald is sexy.
Bald is beautiful.
See?
Ooh.
Oh, there
Giddy
you
up.
see how it was said too? It was like
He's
bald
about to
is
run a marathon with that
sexy.
one.
Well,
There was there was saliva in the sexy. I was like, shit.
Sexy.
He said saliva.
You heard it? I was like, God damn.
Let me stroke my mustache.
But yeah, and I think too, there's also like when something's oversaturated. So
Yeah,
I think in the 90s especially, a lot of the stuff started to become the same, which is, you had, remember UPN?
Yeah.
Underpaid Negroes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
underpaid Negroes.
Hey, what was that show we loved on UPN?
Homeboys in Outer Space?
Homeboys in Outer Space.
Homeboys in outer space.
Yeah.
It was just, and don't get me wrong, I loved UPN. I did.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
But
Or
it was
Moesha.
Moesha was
Incredible,
everything.
yeah.
But it became same was it, I never know that expression, but same sides of a different coin, different sides of the same coin, whatever. When
Yeah.
everything's very, very, very similar.
Yeah.
So right now you have the Spike Lees, you have the Shonda Rhimes, you have the Jordan Peeles, and you have Issa Rae's,
Lena Waithe.
Lena Waithe. You have so many people that are not the same, and their outlets are different, and their stories are different. And thankfully, people are interested in them, and they're getting attention. So I think there's really something for everyone. And like you said, Black people are the trendsetters, for 99% of the time. And right now, there are so many things that we're exposing people to that they have never seen before.
Yeah.
And that's not going to change.
And I love how slowly we're just taking over different genres.
Yeah.
Like when you see Lena Waithe and you see Jordan Peele over here, and you see whether it's comedy, it's like we're literally slowly just taking over. And I honestly wonder how do they notice yet?
Oh, of course they know.
Oh, they notice.
Oh, they notice.
But
And let us not forget Ryan Coogler, too. Cause,
Yeah.
Right, yeah, of
you
course,
know,
Ryan
yeah.
Coogler.
But my thing is,
Yeah.
I think they notice and they're kind of like, oh, cute. Like, oh, look what they're doing. And I'm like, but I don't know if they really understand the impact because I'm like, we have so much power in our dollars. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, there's just so much impact behind what we do creatively as people that I feel like they're getting a glimpse of what we already knew we could do, but I don't think they've realized the full magnitude. And I'm excited for that.
Well, they
I mean,
know
yeah.
because like the number one export in this country is culture. Because this nation has no natural resources. They steal everybody's natural resources.
True.
So the number one export is culture, and it's Black culture.
Yeah.
So they know, like, especially with this technology, even though it's like it's a good thing, but it's almost a bad thing because we can hit the people directly. Where
Yeah.
like Diva was saying, like 20 years ago, we needed their help. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't really need your help
Well,
anymore.
that's also why they're trying to control the internet in a certain type of way.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these streaming services are kind of like they're trying to buy up all the smaller
Yeah.
spots.
yeah.
And then what was I gonna say? Also, too, I don't think they're as nervous right now because it's like you said, it's cute because
Yeah.
it's like you guys don't own studios like that.
Yeah.
Like Tyler Perry is one of the only ones that owns a studio.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're like, all right, cool, that's fine.
That's what I'm
but,
saying.
but as long as if 10 other studios pop up that are
Yeah.
owned by Black people, then
Yeah.
then you start to see like, well, oh, hold on, wait a
But that's
second.
what I'm saying. Like Idris Elba, I believe, has his own production company, and he's doing things. And Regina with King with hers, I feel like, and Will Smith and Jada have it. I feel like
Yeah.
it's coming,
Yeah.
and we're doing it. And I think we're always underestimated, which is so ridiculous to me because time
Yeah.
and time and time again, we've proven that you don't underestimate us.
Yeah.
Well
So
said.
I just want to see like when it manifests. Like I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
I'm very happy to hear that because it's like I think sometimes some of us will get to that point where we can like help others and we're like, no, I'm cool, I'm comfortable. Whether it's, and that's good to hear that like, hey, they're starting their own production company.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you have the power, you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can be a boss.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and I think sometimes being underestimated is a gift, to be honest, because if I like being underestimated.
No one's checking for you.
No one's checking for you, and I'm about to blow your mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, to me, being underestimated, to me, it fuels me more than someone hyping me up, because then you got to live up to that hype,
Yeah.
as opposed to coming from nowhere and just people losing it, which is Jordan Peele with Get Out. No one saw that coming.
Yeah.
And people underestimated him, I'm sure. They're like, this comedy guy is part of a duo. Can he do it by himself? He wants to do horror. What is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it,
I think even with us as Black people, we kind of knocked him a little bit for being like,
Ooh.
half white or whatever, or at least feeling like he's not Black enough. I heard.
Or like getting stuff because he's married. To
And it was like and then people saw the movie, they were like, and I think right now, even with Jordan Peele, he's becoming that director to where people go watch his movies because it's so layered. They want to come up with their own conspiracies about it. Like
I
I
never tell you whether or not you're right or wrong, which I love.
which is I
But
love.
I also hate. Tell
Yeah.
me I'm right.
Yeah, because both his movies, Get Out and Us, like I immediately after I went to go watch them, I went on to YouTube.
That's so funny.
Tell me.
Was he in that booth? Huh?
But I went to go watch those videos right afterwards about the meetings and things you might have missed and like undertones and stuff like that. And he's literally become that guy to where it's like his movies are so layered that people go online to go watch it just for that.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting with him and his horror? Not to go like on a tangent or
So
whattever.
he said him and his horror.
No.
That's what I thought he said too.
Like, God damn,
why not?
don't disrespect the brother right now.
Let the brother live, man.
Shit, that's
Why
exactly
can't he
what
window
I thought
shop?
he said.
No, but I was gonna say with this horror films, I wonder if he's gonna start getting more deeper into Black spirituality, because in this country they've hid our spirituality. So I wonder with him touching the horror, they're like, oh, they're doing horror. It's like, no, our spirituality.
I'm like,
I know. I thought he said touching the whore. I was like, man.
Maybe I am. You know, I'm bald now. But no, like, no, but like, I wonder if he'll deal with like Black spirituality, like let's say in the South with like Voodoo and stuff like that. With that, because that'll be very, very interesting if he was to like open up that can of worms where we can talk about like our spirituality prior to colonization or like, you know, slavery, stuff like that.
I think he will, and I hope he will. But we got to address what he said. He wasn't going to make a white actor a lead in his films.
I loved
and
it.
how people got up in arms. And it's like, y'all are still the leads in 95% of other films. Why the fuck are you mad?
According to the stats, 71%. But hey, you know.
I
Still
mean,
up there.
No, but I feel it.
stats are slightly not
Yeah,
accurate.
oh, yeah, you can
but
change
yeah,
numbers.
A little skewed. No,
Yeah,
but I like slow clap when I read that. I was so happy because I'm all like, as it should be. I feel like I've seen this story. I know what this looks like. And so the fact that he's like, it's still shocking. Us was still shocking to people. Get Out was still shocking to people. I'm like, this is why we need more of these things until people stop being surprised. Like, wait, there can be a nuclear family, mom and dad, and they're both Black and they're happy? What? And I'm like, what?
First of all, when you say so clap, you can't say it. You got to do it. That's one. Second,
It's going to be loud. It's unpleasant to the ears.
Second, it's funny because when you say, like, I know the outcome of a movie with the white man as the lead, he's going to save the woman or save the day. It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
And that type of propaganda, what does that do to young white boys? They feel like empowered. Like, I'm supposed to save the day.
That's what happened. James
Emboldened.
Baldwin was saying when he used to watch like the cowboy Indian films, he was like, I was rooting for the cowboy. I was like, I'm like them. They're American, blah, blah, blah. He's like, as he got older, he realized, no, I'm the Indian. He's like, they're coming for me. And it's like that when he looked in the mirror and he saw himself, he's like, I've been completely misconstrued the entire film. And I'm like, that's what happens. You grow up idolizing like this whole white savior. White people are gonna save us. I'm gonna save yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
Man, you
it's
know what
just
that made me
over.
think of? Remember Indian in the Cupboard? Remember that movie?
Oh my
Oh,
God.
man, yeah.
I don't know. So it seems like
In elementary, man, that was mandatory for us to
that
watch.
was really dope, right?
Oh, yeah. Next question.
Yeah.
So
On that note.
So it seems like I guess I can conclude that it feels like we don't think it's the industry's job to create diversity roles. It's our job, right?
I think, well, go ahead.
I feel,
It's a balance.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
everyone's responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like as actors, like for instance, I was telling my sister about this. The movie I never saw, Aloha by Cameron, was it Cameron Crowe?
I think
Yes.
so,
Yeah, I saw him after it came out. He came into my job. I was not happy with him because of the film. I believe Emma Stone's character, she isn't a white person. I think she's like Hawaiian or Asian, something like that. Like she played a different race altogether. And my thing is this, Emma Stone, we know you. You turn down one movie, your career's not going to end. So I have this idea of why you have to say yes to everything. I'm all, that was, to me, racially insensitive. I'm like, you're not of this race. There are so many unknown actors who would love to just like be put on, and then you say yes. I'm all, you didn't have to. And if I'm not mistaken, Ghost of a Shell, I'm not too in like anime. I don't know.
I'm an anime fan.
Okay,
so
so-
yeah, I know, yeah.
But Scarlett Johansson, you're part of the Avengers franchise. Like you didn't need to do this movie that
And that's-
bad.
that's
Wasn't
why
Tom
it bombed.
Cruise The Last Samurai or something?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But that's why even like a lot of those movies kind of bombed too. I think
Yeah.
we talked about what was that movie? What I think it was it Gerard Butler? I forgot. Or
No,
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon,
Matt
yes.
Damon. That
Yeah.
movie
Wasn't
bombed.
he a samurai too? What's happening?
He
Yeah,
wasn't
he
a samurai,
saved like
but-
the Great Wall. Like I'm like,
Y'all never been
they
to
couldn't say.
Japan?
That's what I'm saying, and I'm like, and I think it's like as actors, there could be a project for me that I really love and I want to tell this story. I'm not right for this role
Yeah.
as far as the face, so let me get behind the scenes. Let me put money towards. Let me do
Yeah.
something, and then that's the job of the actor. I think of the industry is this need for inclusion. I do not think only white people can play certain roles,
Right.
and I don't think it's not lost on me when it's a slave movie. All of a sudden, we got all the black actors. I can find you and you and you. But when it's a movie that's a little bit more nuanced and it's layered and it's character-driven, how many character-driven films, indie films or big black blockbusters, what have you, do you see where it's people of color, that's character-driven, it's heavy and it's meaty? And again, that is why, sorry to bother you, from my heart, I loved it so much. And I went to the screening because I'm all, I could see anyone doing this, but I'm glad it's Black people that did this.
Right.
Yeah.
But
So
there's still so far to go with Black people, but then also too, the stat that you read about
Women,
Native Americans. I mean, there's so
It's insane.
It's insane, and the thing that's so shitty to me is that it's really the studio doesn't care until somebody proves that it makes money. So until some Native American person goes out and makes a film, it does well. They go, oh, we knew that the whole time. It's like, no, you didn't. You know what I mean?
Like where's
They're
that
still
sense
here?
of like fearlessness? Like that's why I think people are with like the Netflix and going streaming things online. I think there's more interesting stories being told on a smaller scale because they're like, okay, because I've seen some bum movies on Netflix. I'm like, what the how did this get on?
Yeah.
What is this? Like it's
Right.
Z-list like actors. But I'm like, okay, they took a chance and people watched it or they didn't, whatever.
Kenisha and them, yeah.
Yeah, but that's good. I mean, because nowadays when you can now find something that people that look like you that are on. Like if you feel like there's not enough Native Americans or not enough, Asians and stuff like that, you can go on YouTube and you can probably find a web series or a show that they filmed that themselves, and you can go watch them. Like, all right, cool, I get that sense.
Yeah.
Because all they have right now that I know of is like Fresh Off the Boat, a TV show, and it's a really good show.
Yeah, it is.
But the fact that that's like one of the only shows.
Right.
I actually watched it for the first time the other night, and I was like, this show is so funny. And I counted just 2 white people who was like their neighbor. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Why is there not more of this on TV?
But it's so dope too because even for us it's watchable for a lot of us because it's a 90s experience.
Yeah.
He's taking you back to the 90s and how hip hop influenced him, and he doesn't shy away from that.
Yeah.
And
know
us
what I'm
being
saying?
immigrants too, like I get that as well.
Right.
Like the mom with the accent and all that stuff. So.
Right.
All right, well, I think
It's a good
Huck
show.
Huck has a
Oh yeah.
This is his podcast too, and he forgot he was even on this shit.
I think he's making beats right now.
Bars.
So I want to play a game with you guys. We want to.
Hate games.
I want to know
I
what.
don't.
Oh, okay. So, what shows that's currently on TV or in the past that helped the culture and represented us well and was most kind of, I guess, authentic to the culture as well. So I'm going to shoot some names, and then you basically just say yes or no.
Okay, because I
Or-
can't think of things.
I
Or
want to
yes.
work in this
Or
industry.
yeah,
I
no.
know,
Yeah.
you're right.
Can I just give a look? Can I just give a look?
I thought you were starting your own production company.
Doing you're
Yeah.
independent.
All right. Blackish.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
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 Fire show, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if you say no, I need to know why.
Okay.
Okay.
Insecure.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That gets a
yeah.
yes.
Let me say yes.
Wow.
That gets a yes.
Oh my God. In the black tone.
They gave a voice
Uh,
and
Oh,
the
they
shit
snapped the
on
finger?
the shit on fuck boys. Fuck
they
boys
did the
were
shoulder.
cool. Fuck boys were able to live until Insecure came out. And they wasn't having it.
I'm
nigga
going to
Lord- that
all their
nigga-
funerals.
That
yes.
nigga Lawrence.
Oh, Lawrence.
Hilarious.
Whatever, man.
I miss Lawrence.
Mm-mm.
I do.
Let him-
Look.
Let's play the game.
Okay.
Oh, wait, we gotta go into that
we
because
can
Lawrence.
get into- we
What's
can
wrong
get
with
into-
Lawrence?
Thank you. I liked Lawrence.
What did he do
I'm
wrong?
Sorry.
He.
Okay.
Question. Next show.
Next
We'll
case.
talk
Say
about-
with
we'll
your
talk about it
chest.
later. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Queen Sugar.
Yes, I love that show so much. It's so layered.
I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it.
sorry.
My fault.
I have
If
this
I'm silent,
really,
I don't
like,
know.
being on it.
obsession with Bianca Lawson, so I'll pretty much watch.
Oh,
whatever
for
she
sure.
does.
I didn't know Bianca
100%.
Lawson was in there.
She's Darla.
Bianca
I didn't watch the
Lawson.
show.
Oh,
Yo.
Yeah, I know.
I
We
don't know.
watch
Whatever
the
genes
show.
she's got, she looks like she's
Age
20 for
incredible.
She
20
bathes
years.
in the
Oh.
blood of virgins.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Man.
Buy me a bottle. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Runaway.
Oh, was that the?
I was about to say you guys. Yes,
What?
Oh,
that-
is it? Wait,
That was.
there's like a superhero one, right? Is that the one, or
No,
is that
the-
the Underground
wait,
Railroad? I don't know.
yeah,
I'm gonna stop
yeah,
talking.
the-
It's Underground Railroad,
with Harriet Tubman. and-
right? Underground. Yeah.
Oh,
what's
with,
Smollett
just,
and
his sister.
yeah,
I
that was
forgot
called
her
Underground.
name. That's called
Yeah, it was
Underground.
called
That's
Underground.
called
Yeah, I was
yeah.
like,
That's
oh,
called
so
Underground.
deep on you.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
That's
I didn't
why
watch
you
it,
guys
but
are a little confused.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I was
Fari's
like,
face was like, what?
That must have came on
Because
when
I
the
was like,
Laker
I try to
games
stay on
Lakers
top
were
of
playing.
things,
I
and I'm
didn't-
like, wait a minute.
I never watched it, but I heard good things
I
about
heard
it though.
it was a good show.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Are you watching
Good
it?
show. I
Yes.
heard about it.
It was amazing.
It's good,
I
but
heard of
Runaway, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know her.
Just making up shit, Huck.
Um,
And see, we're gonna be like, yeah, we love it. Like, you lying,
he gave
motherfucker,
me
don't
the-
even exist.
And then he had the audacity to give a look
That
of
was- it was-
disappointment.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
I was
right.
like,
It was a trick question. All right, Grownish.
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Grownish
yes,
is
yes.
dope.
All right.
Yara Shahidi, just in general, I think she's so
Hero.
great, and I love that she's biracial and that she equally is proud of both of her heritage. I
And
think it's great.
I love it so much that even Trevor Jackson's little rat tail that he had
Yeah.
rocking didn't bother me. That's how good the show is.
But
Are they bringing those
give,
back?
yeah, I think they give a good sense of like how college kind of is for like
Now.
experimenting, and
Yeah.
she is this type of girl that I don't know if you guys are caught up, but I'm caught all the way up, and they got real at that last episode.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a
Yeah.
tough season.
Yeah.
Luca.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a jackass for that, but yeah, go ahead.
I forgot the next one. I was gonna ask.
Just-
He's still on Runaway. It's
I-
okay.
I was about to ask the same one. Atlanta.
Yes.
Yeah.
Atlanta's fire.
You're
Yeah.
naming everything that's great.
He's trying to stump us on one. He wants
I
to
know.
know. I'll say no to the next one just to be controversial.
It's
Atlanta.
great because every show that
Okay.
you've asked, it's very diverse.
Yeah.
Like there's a
Yeah.
different,
Exactly.
like each lead or each story is different. It can be in a different setting. It's like either it's drugs,
Right.
either it's like you're in college, getting an education, you're in business, you're trying to figure stuff out in your 30s, like humans, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, all
I feel
right,
like-
just
I feel
making
like-
sure.
Concept.
I feel like
Uh.
definitely every show has pushed the culture forward. You know, Atlanta is something like humor wise, it's not like you don't sit there and bust up laughing, but you go, oh shit, or you go, that's wild. Like the writing on there is just so dope.
And the acting's incredible.
Acting's
I mean,
so
it's
dope.
It's
incredible.
like everyone was cast perfectly. It's
Yeah.
just the perfect
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
Like, and then I'm like,
yeah.
but it's so perfect, and it didn't have like the sophomore slump. So I'm like, just keep being perfect.
Right.
And
Yeah.
now I'm nervous. I'm like, how perfect can we keep being?
Well, I'm
the show.
only upset because it's just taking so long for each season now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Again-
Insecure doesn't come back till next year.
Yeah, that's wild.
HBO.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dear white people.
I like the TV show. I liked it.
I watched the movie.
The TV show.
Yeah,
I
the
liked it.
Sandler
Yeah,
movie.
I've seen it. I've only seen like 2 episodes, and
I like it too because it gives you that different perspective. Like you have Grownish, but then this kind of gives you, I feel, more perspective from black upperclassmen at a PWI.
Oh, okay.
So I never went to a PWI, but I know my brother has,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it gives you a good perspective in a sense of like,
PWI.
yeah, predominantly white institute.
institution.
Oh, I was like, what?
So it's like
PYT, Michael Jackson.
I can
Yeah.
see his brain.
Yeah,
I
I was
know.
like,
I
what?
literally-
And I know he didn't want to ask it first. He was kind of like,
I think I'm vulnerable.
But I thought
Sounded
you
like
would
something
get
on
it. So
porn.
I was trying to give you like
Yeah.
space to
No,
get it.
I only went to an HBCU. Holla.
yeah. I mean, I did
Follow.
too, but so I don't understand what that means. Anyways,
You're supposed to have my back. Man.
Yeah.
I'm
but
bald
I think
now.
that show is pretty dope because it does kind of deal with even probably identity crisis in a sense of like, one, the lead character is biracial also, but then she has to deal with, being at this place and trying to find her blackness and show her
Yeah.
blackness. And be like, they be coming at her sometimes like, yo, you have.
Right.
And then some people that kind of grew up in that prestigious lifestyle, like the other main character, I forgot his name. I think it's Troy.
Yeah, sure.
And he had to struggle with like, all right, to become like I guess more black in the sense of like fighting for his people.
Yeah.
Because he has a sense where like they trying to groom him to be like the next Obama type
Yeah,
type dude.
yeah.
And he's kind of like, man, I'm having trouble like trying to be a nigga and trying to be this, and it's like
yeah.
I think the show is a dope watch if you haven't watched it.
Okay.
So I think it's tight.
I'll add it to
It's
the
going
queue.
in the queue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll add it to the queue.
Huggy, y'all one more? I want to talk about the shows that are not helping the culture.
I know.
Okay, I'm trying to get there.
All right. My fault, player. My
get
fault,
it,
player. I didn't get predominantly white. I'm still salty over that.
Power.
Oh hell
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Power's dope.
No.
Absolutely. What?
Are you
What?
just saying no because you said yes to everything?
No. It just doesn't seem interesting to me.
What?
Have you watched
Say
it?
what one more time? It just, I mean, here's the thing. I saw the trailer, whatever, and I was just like, oh, cool for those people, get work.
Wow.
Wow.
And
I
there's
think-
so, I mean,
Power's first 3 seasons.
and what's his face got a little too handsy with Beyonce, so it's gonna be a minute before I watch that show.
Well, who got
Let me
hands?
tell you
Omar.
something,
Ours
man.
is back
That's
to
how.
Oh, hey, look.
That's
Hey,
how
let the
supportive
brother
they
live.
are.
Let the brother live.
No, we
Hey,
really
2
know what to
kisses.
do with
Mwah,
that.
mwah. He was being polite. 2
He
kisses.
lingered, but that's okay. Next,
That was a
next.
lot, but in a sense of
She's Beyonce.
in the sense of the
Mwah,
show,
mwah.
the show is, but the show got a lot of sex about the first 2 or 3 seasons.
Oh,
but it's like, to me, that show is so dope too. It's the same thing. It's like a hood dude
Yeah.
trying to fly straight,
Yeah.
trying to like get out of the drug business,
Right.
and
Try to
you know,
go actually
clean his
legit.
money and go the clean route.
Mm-hmm.
But he realized the street life always follows him,
Mm-hmm.
even though to me that shit is
Yeah.
See, I
power
don't
is
mind
dope as
that
hell.
stuff.
Black director, black writers.
Yep.
Right.
Again, let the show be great. It doesn't grab me. So
Have
I
you
don't
watched
watch
it? It's a trailer.
Just a trailer.
I
You
say
can't
wa-
get me with that.
I say
Yo.
watch.
That's the
Oh.
best of it. Like that's what it's like. Let's give you everything that's amazing.
I don't
to
think the
get you.
trailer got me either, but I think somebody's told me
Yo.
to watch it. I ain't gonna lie, the sex scene got me. I was like, damn, this is like a porno on HBO.
Shocking.
But then honestly, after you get past that, you're
Of
like,
current stars.
Right. This is great.
but after that, you're kind of like, no, this show is like, to me, the writing on that show and the twist,
Yeah.
so many twists on that show. I was like, who the fuck is writing this?
And
Right.
what's up with Tasha?
I mean,
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
but that's the thing. I get like everybody that does something crazy on that show. When you watch, you're like,
Yeah.
everybody has their agenda
Yeah.
and their motive and why
Yeah.
they do things, and you see their character, and you're like, all right, I see why Tasha moved this way.
Right.
Ghost is a pretty selfish motherfucker, so I see why he moves this way. Tommy's a certain way, but so when you watch the show, I think you're gonna probably either fall in love with somebody or love the hate characters, and it's.
But then,
I say give it an
Give
episode.
me, I'll
Give
try
it an
the
episode.
one
but then
episode.
even just to add to what we're talking about with like the like diversity and how complex and different black people are. When you see somebody like Ghost, like drug dealer trying to move up, trying to go legit, and try to make a better life for not only him, his family, but his crew, which is sort of similar to like, you know, like the Kennedys. They bootlegged, then
Yeah.
they became legit. So it tries to show kind of like that dichotomy where it's like, oh, black people are trying to, even though he's a hustler, he still has a conscience where it's like, okay, this is just helping me get the money so I can make my life better or whatever. Plus the show is like, Keenan said,
And
if you-
honestly, I'm fine with shows like that. I know some people are like that's a stereotype in drugs, but as long as it's nuanced and layered, and it just shows how did this person get here, why, you know, like
Yeah.
when you have a backstory and context, it's fine. It's just when you throw some crackhead or drug dealer in some show or movie just for the sake of it because they're black,
No.
I
And
feel like
it's-
that's problematic.
and
But
it's not
something
e-
like this is, you know,
And it's
fine.
not even about like crackheads. It's
Right,
not,
right,
it's
right,
not even
yeah.
that deep.
Yeah.
And
Not
honestly, if
saying
you want to
that.
get extra pro black and pro like extra conscious about it,
Do
the
it.
white man Tommy's actually keeping them down
right,
because
right.
he's the one trying
yeah,
to sell
I
the
don't
drugs.
like his
Right.
face. And that's another
You
thing.
don't like
He
Tommy's
look
face?
evil. He look like that dude that's like,
Yeah.
So
But you know what's really
I got a
great?
lot going against him.
You know
for me
what's
to
great
watch.
about that show?
So do you think
That-
that was purposely done by the writer?
I don't know.
His
I don't.
face?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it was that
God.
deep. That's hilarious. I don't know if it was that deep in the sense of that, but I mean, I think they did give because like at first it took me a while to get adjusted to like the hood white dude, and but when you saw it, it's like
He's in
not
that
he's not
environment.
necessarily acting like super black or nothing like
Yeah.
that. He's just like
from
yo,
his environment.
I grew up in Queens or whatever, and you know he ain't out here saying nigga or nothing like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But he's just like yo, I ride for my homie, and my homies is who I ride for,
Right.
and this is the way I grew up, and I will kill a motherfucker for it.
Right. But that's like the person in that
Same.
environment. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
hilarious.
So it's relatable.
House of Pain.
Oh.
Oh, I was like, how's the pain?
I was playing
The
out.
song.
I did not laugh one
That's
time
hilarious.
watching that show.
Yeah. The only. Oh, go ahead.
No.
Go
No,
ahead.
I'll say this. I'll say.
Let's just talk about Tyler Perry. Let's
it
just do
didn't.
it.
Yeah, it didn't
Let's just-
strike a chord with me.
So it's a
But-
no.
So it's a no for me. But I will
Very
say that
politically correct
but there
answer.
are people that love it. You know what I mean? There is a demographic of black people. My grandmother, let me tell you, she
Yeah.
will watch anything Tyler Perry. She
Oh,
will turn
what?
on all
Yeah.
day.
Man, if you
She
say anything
does.
bad about Tyler Perry
Yeah.
to grandmas, what?
Right. You know what I'm saying? So there are people. So I'll say, for me, I don't get House of Pain, but there are people that do, and that.
Oh, they
he
love
is, They love it. My grandma,
Yeah.
can I tell you how many Medeas she's talked to me about? She goes, did you see this Medea? No, grandma.
But
Yeah.
yeah, to me personally,
But
we
good
can't
for
have
you.
it both ways in the sense it's like if we want like diversity and genres, we're nuanced, but there are people who are like that. That's not all
Yeah,
black
absolutely.
people. That's
Right.
what the issue for me becomes. That's not all black people, but
It's
because Tyler Perry too, you know, he gets a lot of crap. But Medea was based on like his aunt or someone, so it's based on someone he knows. So to be like, oh, that's the stereotype. That's not like, but that's somebody he knew and the women he grew up with. So how can you tell him no? And how come
Right.
Judd Apatow gets to make the same damn movies all the time, the same damn characters?
Shit.
The lazy like big guy, he gets the hot girl. Like how come that's okay? No one says anything. But
No,
you,
that's
you know what I'm
facts.
saying? Like
That's
that's
facts.
always my issue with.
Absolutely.
I don't watch all the
correct.
Tyler Perry movies necessarily. I've seen a couple here and there, but I'm like, okay, like if that's for you, that's for you. If it's not, it's not. Like
I support Tyler. I saw an episode. I did not laugh once. So I was like, next.
Same with Seinfeld. Yeah, I said it.
What?
Yeah, Seinfeld.
Seinfeld?
Said it.
Oh,
Not
next,
a fan.
Yo.
Next show. Next
We
fine.
could delete her off of this podcast.
Okay.
Don't
but
be reckless.
I'll also say this: Tyler Perry for hiring black cast, black crew. He does a lot for black people in that way. So I will give him so much credit for
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And at the end of the day, with the Medea character, a lot of us have like a quote unquote big mama, a type of person that's very outspoken, don't care, says whatever the hell they want.
Y'all
So
right
it's like
here.
it is like
Her name is Farida.
like the only issue that I guess I would say that I've had with that I saw with his shows is that I think he is some of it's still written as like a play. Like a TV, like when I watch him, like this is written as a play, not a TV show.
Yeah.
So that's why,
fair.
The jokes
like,
don't
if it-
land.
yeah. So when I watch some of his plays be having me fucking dying.
Yeah.
So it's nothing
That's
against
true.
Tyler himself.
Yeah.
It's just about like, yo, the writing for a TV show is different than a play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And once that's I guess done differently, then I think House of Pain could have had the potential of being a super dope show.
Yeah.
But it was just written like
Right.
But-
exactly
Yeah.
like a play. Yeah.
So that's actually a good point. I do
Yeah.
have just real quick, and we don't need to land on this and stay on it, but are you saying you didn't think Seinfeld was funny at all? like,
Amen.
Like,
Evan,
I'm just
thank
saying,
you. Amen.
There's shows where it's like to be dubbed the greatest comedy of all time, that it was given
That's
that title
subjective.
one.
No, you shouldn't.
It was given that
title.
title, so I'm like, okay, but I could sit there and not laugh at
No
all.
soup for you.
That's happened. I
Yeah.
get it,
That
and
was
I
funny.
respect Jerry Seinfeld, and I actually love Curb, and I love Larry David. So it's nothing against anyone a part of that, but it's just some episodes I'm like, it's just not that funny to
Right,
me.
it's over. You think it's over? It's over.
I find other
the
shows
hype
funny.
is too much.
Yeah,
Right,
it's not even
right.
hype. I just didn't. I'm like, oh, okay, I get why that's funny, but
And
Okay,
I'm the
I
biggest
feel you.
Friends. I'm the
Yeah.
biggest Friends fan you'll probably ever meet. And
I
if
love
someone,
Friends.
If somebody comes to me and they're like, "Oh, I don't think it's funny," we can come
Let's
to
go.
blows. Yeah, I
Just
will
square
not.
up. I'm like, square up on Friends.
This has been kind of recent, but I think it's actually old, but it's been kind of been brought up recently. Do y'all think Friends got their style from Living Single?
I heard
Because
about
they-
that recently too.
Yeah, because
I heard
they
that
said
got
they
inspired
actually
by it.
they were
yeah.
going to actually they're actually going to be called Friends, the TV show,
I would be
Living
shocked.
Single, and then they passed on that.
I actually wouldn't be shocked either.
Yeah, because
it was-
Girlfriends is pretty much like living
Sex,
single.
Sex
Yeah,
in the
Sex and the
City.
City.
You know, it's
Yeah,
like-
all that's
Okay,
good.
but Sex
Yeah.
in the City is low key like Golden Girls.
Yeah.
If you really think
Absolutely.
about it.
Right,
For
So-
real.
Yo, let me tell you
Yeah.
something. Be
Yeah.
author.
Don't even
Nah.
get me started, man. That's my
Nah.
girl. You don't
Yeah.
understand.
Why do y'all
man.
like Golden Girls so much?
Yo, Golden Girls is hilarious.
I'm asking a question.
Damn.
Hey, all this defensiveness. Whoa.
Keenan.
And it was ahead
Square
of its
up,
time
homie.
too.
Yeah.
I
mean,
agree.
It was, yeah.
But
Yo,
I want
Sophia from
I wanna
Sicily?
hit- No.
Yo.
Picture it. Picture it.
Yo.
St. Olaf, get out of here.
Let me tell you something. My girl in her bonnet, best friends is Golden Girls. That's
Yes,
all. That's all.
yes.
But I want to know
I
why,
think it's
like
because
why.
it's like
She's
it's
like, 'cause it's
women.
funny.
Because first of all, it's older women, and we
Right.
always think you get to a certain age, you're cut off. Especially as you're done, like that's it.
Yeah,
you have
society,
expiration
everything.
date.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And then also it's like I think the pilot or something that they were talking about like how they had to fake orgasms.
No,
and I'm
right.
Like, Grandma, you know what I mean? Like it's like
And
it
to
was
do
ahead of
that was
its
the
time.
pilot?
In the 80s, and
In
think
the
about it,
80s.
and that's in the
Damn.
80s where they're
Yeah.
talking about sexuality,
And then they had-
unprotected sex, all this
Yeah,
crazy
like teen
stuff.
pregnancy, and like they had like gay characters on there. Like,
Yeah, it was
and
ahead
then
of the
just
curve,
Dealing
yeah.
with that, like an interracial marriage, like come on.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't watched every episode. Before,
And let me tell you,
so
but let me
I
tell you
don't-
about Blanche. Blanche is a slut monkey, boy. Gets it in, boy.
She is
Hey.
in tune with her sexuality, and she makes no apologies.
Not
for it.
one.
Here they
Watch
go.
yourself.
Dorothy's my
Here
favorite.
they go, Keenan. Here they go.
We're taking the words back. And we're
Oh, she be getting it in.
Gills.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call her a monkey.
Gills. Look at Huck is just jabbing this whole episode.
right,
That's all
right.
he's doing.
So wait, let's talk about. I want to talk about shows that don't help
He
the
went-
culture, and I don't want maybe not specific shows, but maybe genres. Can we do that, Huck? Huck, Keenan, let's
I
do
don't know.
genre.
What are we doing?
What you
No, no.
He's still on
Shows. Shows are
Think about gills.
he's stuck on the go.
still on go.
gills. I'm lost.
That makes me nervous about what kind of porn Huck watches.
Right.
Gills.
Oh, gilfs. Oh, this one.
Jesus.
Let's go with this one.
Just move on.
This one. No, like shows or genres that don't help the culture, don't help the productivity of people, and I'm gonna say reality shows.
Oh, yo, yeah.
okay.
But
Yeah,
who does
well-
reality shows help? Like in any?
VH1
Demographic.
must be stopped.
Yeah.
VH1 must be
Who
stopped
looks?
at all
Oh,
costs.
VH1.
Yeah.
It's just-
I will watch Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Yeah, I said it.
I watched it last night though.
Oh, I'll be watching
And so
it too.
is
I
that
watched
is
Teen
that your
Mom,
guilt?
too.
Is that your guilty pleasure?
No.
Yes, it's
No.
my Monday like hate watching. It's that and Teen Mom too. Okay, come for me.
Diva, what else you got? What else you hiding? She got a full clip. She said two. She really got like six.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be open. I don't. Yeah, I mean, I love hip hop, man. I love
Just
it, man.
Atlanta. I can't watch the other one.
I can't rock with it. I mean, I was early on with the Flavor of Loves.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
When I first started, I was like, yo, this is. I was like, why?
I love
Yeah.
New York.
The fact
man.
that I love.
I met her at a bar. She was
Did
real
you?
cool too. Yeah, Tiffany.
I feel like she would be.
Yeah.
She was real
Yeah.
cool. You know what she
Yeah.
told me to?
Hmm.
And she was like, just use up your 15 minutes of fame. That's all I'm doing. She was like, you could tell she's very
Smart.
She,
Smart.
the
She's very
strategy
smart.
behind
I
it.
feel like she's very
she did like
intelligent.
an
Yeah,
ad
absolutely.
for Fenty, and I was like, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
This is my thing with any. I mean, and it's not just with black shows. It could Love and Hip Hop, Housewives, any of that. Anything that focuses on pinning women against each other for something that maybe someone cheated or maybe
You
it's
know
something stupid.
Yeah.
That to me is why I don't watch it.
You know what's funny?
Right.
You bring up a good point. That's what kind of bothers me about those shows. That's what it's
like,
very destructive. Like
yeah.
the that self-hate. It's like it's perpetuated. Like, and it's like it's too visible. Like black women calling each other bitches, and then black men are respecting black women. They don't respect their kids. Like you have a child with her, you have to respect her. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I hate that. That's like. That's for a while seemed like those were the most popular shows that were perpetuating
for
those.
sure.
everywhere.
Oh, they were on
100%.
fire. Yeah.
And,
Absolutely.
and it's like for us, like, we all seem pretty intelligent, and it's like, I can take it just for entertainment. But let's say somebody that's not as smart or doesn't have a good background or a strong background, they're looking at it like, oh, that's the way of life. What up, bitch? I was like, you can't talk to people like that.
What?
What's wrong with you? You can't do that.
That's real. You do have a lot of people that see stereotypes like that or see that, and that's what they act like. And even if you even see white people watch those shows, they'll come out acting,
Told you.
yeah, they'll act like not even just that, but they'll
They're
act
like all of a sudden have a little, and I'm like, you don't talk like that.
yeah. I mean, Catch Me Outside, girl. She was
Oh.
literally.
That's one thing that's not good for the culture. I'll put
Right.
that one
But
out
what I'm
there.
saying is, people like that will literally watch that
Right.
and then think that that's how we act,
Right.
and now you're acting black. But they don't watch Atlanta. They don't watch Blackish.
No,
and
right.
say that's acting black.
Because
To me,
not
that's on
what they
them,
want,
though. They don't want they don't want that. They don't want to see the diversity.
Right.
You know.
True, I agree.
Like,
Yeah, and I also think it then allows not everyone, because like you said, most intelligent people that won't let that alter the way they behave in everyday life. But you do get people that now it's okay to act like that. It's okay that women fight like that all the time. That's the way you're supposed to be. I don't know any women that talk like that fight like that, that put each other down
No.
like that. I
Yeah.
really don't.
Why you look at me like that?
I reserve judgment.
No, I swear to God. I mean, to be honest, we're three strong-minded women that own a company together, and if we have moments of like, hey, I don't like this or I don't like that, we talk about it.
Amber, you
And
want
it's
to pick up?
done.
You want to pick up that name you
You
just
guys
dropped?
go to a restaurant and sit down.
Yeah, we have like a restaurant.
Yeah,
Like, go
I've
down
only
and
flipped
get
the
back
table on
room
them
and
once.
just-
This whole time. Yeah.
No, I
Get
just
the good table.
I don't know, I just feel like it's so antiquated. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, cool. We're still doing this. It's not interesting to me. But I will say I did watch Love and Hip Hop Atlanta last night. And Spice, listen.
It's
But that's
important.
is
but
that
it's
the Jamaican
actually,
girl?
Yeah, it's an important
But here's the
storyline.
thing,
Actually, it's about colorism.
That's what I'm saying. And
So-
I was like, okay, if only on a very special, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like, she wants to bleach her skin and all this stuff. And then Mimi had to take her to like,
Bleach your skin.
yeah, she
Yeah,
wants because
she's
she
dark
basically
skinned.
the thing is she does dance hall music and she's
Yeah.
getting a name for herself. But she's like, to break out in America, they basically say light is right. And there's another dark skinned
Damn.
rapper who was telling her, no, you don't have to do this. Like, I get like there's certain because sometimes. Not all skin folk, kinfolk. There's sometimes it comes from people that look like me that are saying you're too dark or you're not dark or you're this, you're that. So she has like, even though her genre of music is predominantly for black audiences, she gets told that she's too dark. She, I think, had a producer tell her like, you're too dark to work with or something like that. And
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
and like Amara La Negra, she had that happen. So when they do moments like that, I appreciate it because I'm like, okay, that's real. But I'm like,
Yeah.
but that's not your whole show. So it's like little
Yeah.
gems that they'll give you. But I did appreciate that because they didn't. Because all the lighter skinned women on the show were kind of rallying behind her, going like, you don't have to do this. You're beautiful and you can be successful. And in her mind, she's like, that's very American for you guys to say. But in her mind, she's like, I have to be lighter. I have to be as close to white as possible to be
Self-hate.
successful.
Yeah.
To the
But also,
millionth degree.
where she's from, and I'm African, so I see a lot of aunties that
Holla.
are about 5 shades lighter
Oh,
than
yes,
they used
yes,
to be.
yes.
Let
And
me
I'm
tell you,
like,
Diva, about that lightening skin cream.
That's a whole different topic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's arsenic
That's
in it,
yeah.
and it burns the
It's
melanin in your skin.
poison.
But they never
And you don't look light
good.
skinned. You look like you're sick.
Yeah,
No,
you
you
look
look
like
good.
something happened to you.
Remember on The Simpsons, and remember Mr. Burns was taking that thing and it would glow in the dark? dark. That's what they look
Yes!
like.
Oh my
yeah.
God,
That's what they look
yes.
like.
No,
And they think
and
they
I'm
look
dark
good.
skinned, so I've been told things stay out of the sun. Like, we don't have to get too deep into that, but yeah,
Oh, we'll do that in another episode.
yeah, we can bring you back
Talk about
to
the
that.
genes of that and genetics of that. It's
sick.
ridiculous.
Hey, Huck, this last question. You ever not work with somebody because it was too dark? You as a producer?
Yeah, Huck.
Keep it real.
Put you
Don't
you
look
on
at
the
me.
spot, man.
Yeah, you got hair.
What questions?
I mean, we just heard what happened.
Oh. Money is
Good
green.
answer.
The money. You have to get the money.
All right. On that note, we gotta go.
We gotta go. All right, so, what you call it? You can follow me. First of all, it's a great episode, ladies. Thanks for being a part of this.
Thank you
This
for
is-
having
yeah,
us.
no, this
Yeah.
is you guys gave us like great insight, and I'm like impressed. I keep saying impressed, but I'm like
Think
really
of another word, sir.
I can't. I don't know.
He said he was impressed earlier and then gave no reason why he was impressed.
I know.
I
And
think-
still doesn't.
well, he
I
said
think-
we're
Yeah,
not
that's
as
a good
dry
point.
as he thought.
That's what I said. Dry.
And it can go multiple ways. That's just such a key.
It's so vague. It's so
Yeah.
vague and specific at the same time. Right. So, I'll,
So vague and specific.
at the same time. So you can follow me, Bileko Wissa, at Bileko Wissa.
The ladies goes first.
Oh, I thought I was gonna go and let them headline.
Okay.
no,
okay.
that's
okay.
good.
Yeah,
It's your
let
show.
them
Do what you
headline.
want. Y'all do what y'all want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
we
saying? You can
just
follow
here.
me on Aziza Funny, Instagram, Facebook. You can follow my music page, Pee-wee Helms Music. You can follow my Congolese production page called Bantu Boys Holla. Swing the Rock to Keenan.
You can follow me on Keenan Baker, everything, Keenan. Make sure you get my comedy album. It's called I Might Need Therapy.
Holla.
Because, yeah,
It's hilarious.
we all need therapy, probably. We all went through some shit.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Yeah, and that's it pretty much, yeah.
Okay. that's
Huck,
great.
holla.
You can follow me at Fresh as me one. That's it.
How many S's are in that? Just one?
I'm not being black. I have one.
Oh, here they go. Here they go.
Not, actually, I am being black because there's an AZ instead of an S.
There you go. I'm saying.
So yes, I am being black.
And then to our special guest, we'll start with you, Farida. Where can people follow you and the projects you're working on?
I feel like we should just plug On the Pulse Productions.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You can follow us at On the Pulse Production. It's _.
Yeah, it's at on the.
She said like a question. We
yeah,
don't know.
she said at on the Pulse _
There you go.
Productions, and
So
then
long.
they can follow you at
At Farida Kakonde.
me at Amber Bouyer, and Bouyer is Bouyer.
And I am at the Fab Glam Diva.
Oh God.
She's fabulous. It's perfect for
It's
her.
just-
It's really
it's way of
fitting.
life, guys.
Yeah,
Come on.
and you can also go to onthepulseproductions.com too.
Oh,
nice.
whoa, okay. That's strong.
Yeah, we got a website.
Yeah,
Oh, y'all legit, huh?
we got all them things. Yeah.
All right, so that's What's the Hook, y'all. Thanks for watching.
All right, bye guys. Thank you.